Welcome back to the Retro Sports Gamer channel. I'm playing a game today, ESPN NFL football, that I don't believe I've ever played. And the reason being is, well, back when this game came out, the marketing was pretty awful based off what I could see. This is 1 year removed from one of the worst football games on the PlayStation 2 and Xbox, which is ESPN NFL Primetime. And 2K4 Sega Sports goes from their classic cover with Urlacher on the cover in 2K3 to this, and you see it on the bottom right hand side. I think this is Warren Sapp, but it just says ESPN football straight across his face, so it's hard to see. And to be honest, it looks kind of creepy with this cover. And the only mention that it's a Sega Sports 2K game is in the bottom right corner where it says 2K4 Sega right here. So a lot of confusion I could see with this one when it came out, even though this added all the ESPN graphics. Patrick says, love presentation, branding, despite my present views on ESPN. Yeah, I mean, that's another thing I was thinking about. Like, throughout the 90s and most of the early 2000s, like, ESPN was beloved. Like, most sports fans absolutely loved or adored ESPN, you know? And that has definitely changed quickly in the past, probably like 5 to 10 years. Well, the primetime show was great. Yeah, Berman's definitely a showman, and his presence in this game is huge. Another thing is in ESPN NFL football, they still maintain the 2K announcers, which I don't think are anything great. They're what I like to call generic announcers, but they're not bad. So we're playing 5 minutes. Play all pro. And really, I'm just playing a game where first person football was introduced with this version where you could play out of the helmet. Game modes look a little bit different. Alright, what teams do you want to see? Music certainly iconic, without a doubt. And I think it's just a shame that this game gets so overlooked. And like I said, it's just that the marketing of the cover is just atrocious. I don't think people knew what the game was. Even ESPN NFL Primetime had a better front cover than this one did. I think it just had a picture of Edgerrin James. Eagles looking very good in this game. Eagles Raiders wouldn't be a bad matchup, but I'll wait a second to see if anyone has any requests for teams. Just going to play a game, see what I think of it, what the differences are with 2K5. For all the love that 2K5 gets, I mean, this one is what started off the ESPN 2K combination, and it hardly ever gets talked about. All right, I don't see any requests, so I think I'm just going to go with this. Eagles and Raiders. Seems like a powerhouse matchup in this version. McNabb and the boys versus Rich Gannon and the veterans. Jerry Rice, Rod Woodson. I still can't believe we managed to get wine on the ceiling yesterday. It's it's stained with droplets. What's up, Deontay? This is ESPN in your face. Oh, I shouldn't have skipped. I won't skip any more of the presentation. What did I get for Christmas? The most notable thing I got was Super Mario 3D World for the Switch. I got it so I could play it with my daughter and maybe if my wife wanted to play too. So me and my daughter played a little bit the last 2 days. Mainly it's just me picking up Princess Peach and carrying her through the level. But it's still fun to play it with her. And she'll get the hang of it as we go. But yeah, I'm really enjoying that game so far. So if I don't play sports games, I'm probably playing some Nintendo stuff on the Switch. Oh yeah, this is that music for Boomer and Tom Jackson. So let's see if playing this game, if I would consider it a hidden gem that nobody talks about. That's what I'm saying right now, just going in, that there's probably not huge differences between ESPN 2K5 because ESPN 2K5 everybody knew about because it came out at $19.99 price. It had a way better cover. It had 2K5 in the title, and we had TO. Everyone knew about that game. So far in the play selection and presentation, I don't see really anything too much different from 2K5. I'll let you know when the halftime comes if I see any differences. Rice with the drop. Patrick's saying, yeah, I never heard a word about 2K4. And that's because it's not really even in the title. It's just called ESPN NFL Football. And ESPN had a pretty bad track record of games throughout the years. It wasn't just that ESPN NFL Primetime I'm talking about. There were other ESPN games earlier that had the branding but were not good. Uh, the games that come to mind are not coming to mind right now. So if you could think of any, let me know. But I keep thinking of like Monday Night Football on Super Nintendo, but that one was like ABC branded. Oh, Gannon. Alcoholic. Yeah, he comes in on the chat sometimes. That's probably what he does.
Here's a quarterback who can hurt you by air or by ground. Defenses have to be ready for anything when he's lined up behind the center.
Middle of the field, guys are breaking tackles. Gannon broke a tackle on a sack.
Jerry Rice easily outclassed his defender on that catch, and he had that play all the way.
That was little atonement for dropping the ball the last time it was thrown his way, Peter. He definitely made sure that he held on to that one.
Much better focus that time around.
Yeah, but these are two powerhouse teams at the time. Oh, man.
Wheatland's picked up about 7, and that will bring up first down.
Eagles led by McNabb and a good defense. Raiders, good passing game. West Coast offense. Charlie Garner, good running back. Veteran receivers. When's Brian coming back on the channel? I don't know. That's a good question. Every once in a while, Brian just asks to come over, and if I can make it work, I'll have him come. Yeah, and that's another thing that I was thinking about before I started this stream, so I'm glad you brought it up, Joseph. Yeah, the marketing of Madden 2004 was Mike Vick on the cover, and not only that, he's just a superstar in that game, able to run all over the place. The marketing was way better. And even though Warren Sapp's not a bad cover athlete, the fact that you're just showing his face, and you can hardly make out it's him, and it just doesn't show anything about football. Good defense, knocks it down. Brian, you might drink a little bit on New Year's. You never know. He's a special occasion guy. So you're saying, Patrick, you're saying they were Monopoly before they even made that deal to have the exclusive rights? I mean, the NFL games are still happening. You had this. NFL Blitz Pro was around the same time. Running with McNabb. Don't really get anywhere.
The Raiders are one guy light as they rush in on the blitz.
So the post routes always work for me in this game. Troy did some wholesome holiday family street fight stream the other day. He sure did. One-handed Todd Pinkston. He wasn't really a guy known for the one-handed catch, but I'll take it. So the question is if ESPN 2K5 is looked at as one of the best football games of all time, where does this leave this one? Because it's the most similar thing to it. And it hardly gets mentioned. Yeah, you're right, Patrick. That's kind of why they did that. They came in with the big splash, and I think ultimately though that pissed off the NFL. Getting yards here. Which is another thing, the first-person football is kind of gimmicky. I don't think most people want to actually play like that. It's a cool feature, but that's about it. And if they forced it, I would say that would be worse than the QB vision in Madden. And I hate the QB vision in 06. I was going to go to the flat on that one. It wasn't open at all, so just ran up the middle.
closed in pretty quickly on him.
Yeah, I will.
That will end the first
What's
quarter,
up,
and
Infamous
it's
Smoke?
still a scoreless game. Second down, one man back.
So, do any of you have experience with this game at all, or when it ultimately was out? First down, Donovan McNabb keeping the chains moving. McNabb's a fun quarterback to use in all these games of this era. I didn't use the Eagles too much in the Madden games or these just because they were so good. I didn't like to use the best teams. What's up, J-Dog? Deuce is loose for about 8 yards.
And that will bring up second down.
Yeah, I mean, so far I hardly know. I hardly see or feel any differences
Either one
from
of these
ESPN NFL 2K5.
second and short situation.
Yeah, great play, and now they have a bunch of
It's just a
options
game
for them to
lost
try
because of the
next.
title.
Things
The
down.
post comes through.
And he's got the first down and a whole lot more.
So Smoke says he played this when it was out.
Langston has three defenders looking to pick off that pass, but he wasn't having any of it.
I would agree. I would play this over Madden 22. No, and I am right now, to be honest.
Everyone on the offense is happy about that play.
Definitely. Great call by the offensive coordinator.
And it will be a first down.
Kenny Newborn says, big leap in presentation and gameplay from the 2K version. Separated it from Madden. Yeah, and I just think, as we were talking about, too few people got to experience this leap
On Pink's
because
defense
of
selling the football there,
the
but he didn't
branding.
catch all of it. What he really needed was a few more
Oh
inches of
man,
arm
I
back there.
picked Hail Mary. This is not what I was trying to do.
No, they cannot hook up the pass.
You can take a shot in that situation, and it's really not
Oh,
going to hurt you.
found a path. Come on.
That'll bring up second down.
I don't want to get him crushed.
Field, 5 receivers, and the defense is in their dime. Let's watch.
Eventually brings up
Bought it late oh
it will be
04, oh 05 after getting pissed at Madden. Yeah, that's why I like Madden 2003 over 2004. Like, there's just the defense is way overpowered in Madden 2004. There are a ton of interceptions, and it's hard to throw through the zones. Like, if you throw in a zone, even the linebackers have great coverage. There we go. To the flat, to the tight end. Looked like a beautiful drive. Balanced. Spread it out. Well, yeah, I would say if 2K5 is one of the best of all time, then you have to put this game at least in the top 3 or 5. I mean, it's pretty much the same thing, to be honest. Vic and Moss were always fun to use. Ravens, Ray Lewis was always a monster. Wish they used this game's engine and graphics, but Madden's control scheme, because it's embedded in my memory. Oh yeah. There's stuff about this that I like about the control scheme. Like, I think the just hold R to run with the quarterback is way better. Madden took forever to do that. You had to press a button, toggle back and forth. It's pretty inconvenient. And then the person you're playing against knew that you were just trying to run. Whereas in this, you just let go of the button and then you can still throw.
Comes out and has an opportunity to tie it before halftime. They'll start at their own 23-yard line.
Yeah, but they cleaned it up in Madden 2005. After 2004 was crazy with the interceptions in Madden. So that one's probably my second favorite version of Madden on the PS2. And that one added the hit stick, which I didn't really use much because I thought it was pretty inaccurate from how I learned how to just tackle by getting my player in position. Oh, Rice gets blasted. The games in this year, I mean, based off what I'm experiencing, and I didn't even give this a thought at the time. This game is, I think it's probably better than Madden 2004. Uh, I've played it. I've only played it for a little bit now, but I could tell it's pretty much the same as 2K5. And I would say 2K5 is hands down better than 2004. So this game, Fever 04 was the last version of it. I forget if that's the one that did some weird stuff with the controls or if that was an earlier one. But I'd still put Madden over that. Even though I think that series was solid. And I think that was also probably one of the last years for Game Day. And that Game Day version's much improved from the first one. Did this game have online play? It sure did, on the Xbox at least. So they're driving down the field pretty easily. But yeah, it's fun to talk about like what would you rank this year in the games because you don't really get to talk about that anymore because there's only one franchise.
Rich Cannon sends a homing missile through two defenders. No room for error, and no room for errors needed.
Gannon thrown into double coverage. Yeah, I have Fever 2004 over there.
69 yards and no interceptions. Wow, look at last year's
Main reason I don't play it is just because the football, like the buttons in the football games are all different, which it throws me off if I play too many of them at one time. So Madden's kind of ingrained in my memory. And then I've gotten to know the controls in this one. Raiders, what's up, Alex? I would say, yeah, that year, Madden 2003 was the best game on the market. Because in my view, Madden's always had the best player models in this era. And, oh, big pick. Got some yardage out of that. And in 2003 is when I think they finally fine-tuned the gameplay and balance with the graphics, and they even added the soundtrack. It was an incredible game, and it was first one on PS2 online. Oh yeah, 2K1 was NFL 2K1 was online on the Dreamcast. No, that one wasn't a user pick. I'd like to take credit for it, but oh man, I just tried one play action because I didn't feel like going back in the playbook, and that's what I get. Yeah, I think that's what kind of how I feel about NFL Fever too. Is the The game's actually really good. It's just the controls are wacky. Takes me a while to get used to them. If it's the only game I'm playing for a while, I'll be fine, but I never play it that much. I think how to go back on this. With B? Okay. A lot of the same routes. That's another thing. I do feel like the options of plays are better in Madden as well on offense, at least. The advantage to these is you can lateral. That always drove me nuts in the Madden games that you couldn't do that, even though in their EA Sports college versions you could. I've played All Pro, just not that much. You person in person interception view. Just trying to rifle him in there. I was actually looking to maybe throw, or I mean run to the left side, but it wasn't there. Yeah, I mean, really in that era, it didn't matter which one you had. If you had Xbox, PS2. Oh man, they just tracked me down. We'll let the clock go to halftime. And if you didn't mind not playing online ever, the GameCube was fine as well. But if you want to play online, you need the Xbox or PS2. And the Dreamcast early on. But the Dreamcast was never alive long enough for it to matter. Pretty much defunct in 2 years.
And now let's send you to Chris Berman in our studios in Bristol for the ESPN halftime report.
And a lot of people say Rod is God. Riley's saying I sucked at this game. All right, I'm going to let this play. I'm going to get some more water real quick. Okay, so just quick. This is, they had video highlights in 2K5. So, not a huge knock on it. I mean, the PS2 version would do this on 2K5 unless you had the hard drive.
And confidence so far. If he continues on this pace, he may be able to carry his team to a win. Well, that does it from now from the Bristol studio. Let's go back down to the field with Dan and Peter.
Thanks, Chris, and welcome back, everybody, to Philadelphia. The Eagles will receive to start the second half, and they currently enjoy a small lead, 7-0. Now, let's get to the game.
Now, does it matter that it just has stills? Not really. Because that halftime presentation was still better than most other games. Oh, almost found a hole. Cheerleaders are into it. Yeah, the Dreamcast, the online was just a little bit ahead of its time. People didn't care as much about that as they did about getting a DVD player, which Sony capitalized on. But yeah, when the Dreamcast was out, it was an incredible time. Oh, and Fumble Thrash picks it up. take it. First down. How many consoles do I own? I would say with everything, unique consoles, probably like 25. And I'm counting like the weird, there's a couple weird ones I have for my daughter, the Leap TV and the VTech. Uh-oh. I didn't know this is the play I was using, but it worked. And then in the cabinet right here, I have 10 different consoles. Only weirdest one is the Atari Jaguar, which has gone up in price quite a bit. Well, hope your ankle heals up. 60 frames per second on the Dreamcast. Yeah, there definitely wasn't a problem with gaming on the Dreamcast. It looked great, played great. Controller was cool, although uncomfortable at times or after using it a long time. Oh yeah, come on. McNabb, all this space. The rushing attack coming through. A slim Andy Reid likes what he sees. 62 AFL Championship game. Oh man, you went back to a major classic.
First down, empty backfield.
Yeah, you got to heal up that ankle. Oh, I'm lucky that wasn't picked. I've definitely watched old games on YouTube, but I haven't gone back that far in the past. That would be interesting, though. I'm kind of intrigued by you bringing that up. Come on, McNabb. He got stopped midair on the dive to the pylon. Yeah, I mean, ESPN NFL football, though, this game is great. Oh, gets blasted. Burt Reynolds. Yeah, it took me a while to register. I'm like, who is that supposed to be? I'm like, oh, that's Andy Reid. Touchdown, Deuce Staley. Eagles fans are pumped in Philadelphia. I remember the years where Madden said they had the rights to ESPN, and then they did absolutely nothing with it. They just got it to have the rights and didn't really use it at all. But this game took full advantage of the ESPN presentation.
There's the signal, and we're ready. Akers booms a beauty here. Knight decides to take it out of the end zone. Back to the 21.
Marcus Knight got out close to the 20 on that one.
14-0 against the Raiders, looking good. I was expecting more of an offensive battle, but so far they haven't done much. Blew that, only a 5-yard. Texans had pretty much all of the future Chiefs players who won the Super Bowl. I'm talking about the 60s teams. Would I ever go back and play PS3 360 Maddens? Yes, I would. Now, that era, I didn't really play those games at when they were current. So it would be interesting for me because a lot of it would be newer experiences. But also, being a retro sports gamer channel, I kind of feel like the retro gaming stopped at the Wii. Once we got into those games, they're pretty much like modern. The graphics have improved, more systems have come out. Wow, this cheerleader can really do it. It looks more like a gymnast. You can even argue, you get a game looking this good in this era on the Xbox. I mean, it's still retro, but it looks good. But yeah, I kind of feel like too the games that were made for the old CRT Square TVs are retro, and 360, PS3, even Wii U, those are made for the you play it on an HD TV. It could happen though. It's not in my immediate plans, but as I continue to play these games, I don't see why I wouldn't. That's pass interference. Exotic dancing. I'll take it.
Draws the defensive pass interference call. Let's see what prompted it. Yep, he's over the line there. Back off, bud.
Peter, it would have been third and
AFL documentary, that would be interesting to check out.
Yeah, it's a tough break for the D there.
I'm not afraid to bust out the flea flicker. Madden 12 on PS3 is the last good Madden. One I do remember playing was Madden 13 on the Wii U. It was like the only one that came out on it. So I did get that when I got the Wii U. I thought it was pretty good. You could pick like plays from the pad. It had the CBS broadcast, so it wasn't completely generic. It was like Phil Simms and Jim Nantz. So I didn't think it was that bad. But what the problem is with all those Nintendo consoles is you couldn't play them online, which is what I wanted to do. Just too much lag. Nintendo could never figure it out. Team Echoes here. Kareem Sanders. Alright. AFL championship game. Alright, we're going to the fourth, and things are looking good for the Eagles. Eagles are flying high. Got blasted. I was looking for the tight end, but he was getting jammed on the line, so I tried to sneak it up the middle, and it didn't work out.
second down, 2 wideouts on the field.
Kinetoscope recording? Wow. We're going with the old school tech, too. Oh, he's just gunned it in there. Found the window. I was trying to throw the tight end, but it didn't look open. Here we go. Even put the detail into the cheerleaders. I don't know. What do you think? What cheerleaders are better, Tecmo Super Bowl or ESPN NFL football? You consider the early 360 sports games to be retro? Yeah, I used to say like 10 years was retro, so I would consider them retro by age, just not retro by what I'm experiencing, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Because, like, this game, all these games I play on this channel, I have an old CRT Square TV I'm playing them off of, which all these games were meant to be played on. Yeah, Madden 12 was the last one to come out on PS2. It has that one-hit wonder from the Browns on the cover. Raiders gonna need some crazy things to happen to come back in this one. Andy Reid must have been on the Slim Fast diet in 2003 when this game came out, because he's looking thinner than Dr. Phil. And here we go. Oh, how did God get that one in there? Still waiting for NBC broadcast Super Bowl. Oh, wow. I wasn't even looking and I got an interception. I was reading the chat. And a blowout by the Eagles. I have to watch the replay because I don't even know how that started. McNabb's happy about it. Eagles did have some good DBs in this era. I busted out Fire Edition at the Mobile Extreme Bus Party. There's one tomorrow. I'm doing it by myself though, so I don't know for sure if I'll get the stream going or not on the Twitch channel. It's possible though, because I'm doing it for my friend's son, so I won't have to be as, engaged as I usually am. This is getting the hookup deal. So you might see that on the Twitch channel tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Thing is, when I do those parties, a lot of these people / children, whoever's using them, need help with the VR headsets. So it's tough for me to maintain a full game and commentary unless I'm working with someone, which I usually am, but like I said, it's my friend's party, so tucked it away and forgot about it for 50 years. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of gems like that. CBS just wiped their broadcasts. Wow. As an Eagles fan, this makes me happy. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't expecting this kind of performance. Oh, man, I should have followed him. He wants to sell it to the NFL. I mean, I don't know how I feel about that one. They shouldn't lowball him, although it's just a VHS tape of an old football game, so I mean, it's got way more value to them than anybody, than most other people. I don't know. Personally, I would just take whatever I could get. And if I couldn't get it from the NFL, I would Try to sell to a private seller. Anything before you graduated college is retro. Yeah, the experience is modern. I mean, this era is really when the modern experience started to be fine-tuned to go along with the graphics. But it wasn't until like the HD quality systems where it was like completely streamlined. Even the games in sports are kind of boring to look at because it's all 2K13, 2014. Like that's all you got. There's no variation like this era. Man, this middle of the field's getting crushed.
And the catch is made well past the markers for a first down.
Well, I bet we see the pass here. Right to his go-to receiver.
Oh, pick it off. Nope.
They couldn't connect on this one.
Anything NFL counter. So I came out with a play-by-play version. Interesting.
Physical with his man here, as you can see. Oh, way too much. That's a good passive.
That old tech. It's historic, though. So I could see why they would want to do it. Nothing there for Richie. I haven't seen Tim Brown. Is he like retired in this game or what? Oh, user sack. Right up the middle. Oh, it just opens right up. The goal line blitz is too much. I remember when I used to play seasons with the Bears in the old Madden games on PlayStation 2. I would have certain plays where I could move the line and have a really good chance. Oh crap! The punt teams comes through on the defense. Have a really good chance of a sack is what I was going to say. Punt team, quick audible, and almost get a pick out of it. So let's see if they even call timeouts down 28, or they let this one ride out. No, they're still calling timeouts. So I'm just going to try to get a first down. Oh, found a path here. Oh, McNabbs. Slides under Charles Woodson. Networks wipe tapes all the time. Cost of broadcast. Alex coming up with the old school broadcast knowledge of the tapes. Yeah, I didn't know that, but it makes sense. It's kind of like rewritable CDs, I guess, for some people. Even though CDs were never super expensive. It's like, I'll just write over this. So if you have a VHS home tape, you just tape over stuff. Well, at least they made him use a timeout. But with the scrambling of McNabb and just everything. They weren't really able to stop me. I don't even know if I punted this whole game. Might punt for the first time here. Oh, I was trying to hit. I did hit X, but I was holding R at the same time, so that messed it up. So they have no timeouts, so I am going to punt.
Richardson gets ready to punt this away.
You like Madden 98, 99? Which system? N64 or PlayStation? Because I'm pretty sure by that time, at least 99 didn't come out on the Sega Saturn.
Buchanan fields the punt at the 39. Back down at the 41.
Philip Buchanan got swarmed by the kicking team before he got very far. That nice punt pretty much goes unanswered.
The Raiders will start this drive near midfield with the clock at 53.
It's pouring rain in here, out here today in Chicago.
Gannon zings it to the right side, and it falls incomplete.
Jerry Porter marked an almost guaranteed catch there.
You got NBA 2K22 on which system?
Don't got much more catchable than that one.
Potential for a quick first down.
We talked about those the other night. They are quality games.
You can take a shot in that situation, and it's really
And for me, the value is to go back on the old teams and see those players in even better graphics, like lifelike graphics almost. That is interesting to me to go back and play those. Joseph J saying PS1. That's cool. I mean, I don't get too many people who say they like to go back to the PS1 simulation sports games that often. I mean, I do from time to time. I have good memories with them, but when I go back and look at what I was playing, my memory is always better of what the game looked like than it actually is. Whereas when I play these games, they surprised me. I'm like, wow, this looks really good on the PS2 or Xbox. Man, 2001 Team Echo? I don't know. I have to look that up. PS4? Okay. What's up, Felipe? Oakland Raiders still trying to get on the board. But yeah, to get this game for $2.99, that's what this game was. $2.99. This is an incredible football game that gets completely overlooked. It's almost a carbon copy of ESPN 2K5. You know, that one's a little bit enhanced in the presentation, but the way the game plays and most of the presentation is there. This might be one of the best games on the system. Yeah, they don't hold up. It's like, oh, these are really bad. This looks really bad. Some of those, you know, square shapes, polygon graphics. It's like, oh man, I know they were trying, but this looks super developmental. That's gonna do it. 28-0 shutout. See if we get a post-game report in this one. 2K5, they do like a post-game interview with highlights. And they don't have that in this. So there's some presentation additions in ESPN NFL 2K5 on the Xbox. You see video halftime and post-game, and then they'll also do a post-game interview. Oh, I just thought of an ESPN game that was terrible. That was on the Dreamcast. ESPN NBA Tonight. That game was awful. That was another ESPN branded game that promised a lot and delivered nothing. Player stats, McNabb. 94 yards. Oh, Gannon had three interceptions. McNabb 104 on the ground. Yeah, this was good. So gameplay's there, presentation is superb, and they just added more onto it with 2K5. But still, awesome game. I think I will have to go back to this game at some point and maybe try a season or do something with it because it deserves more attention in the retro sports gaming world. Thanks, Riley. Yeah, the Steel Talon's defense. Yeah, McNabb as a QB was awesome. It was fun using him. All right, guys. Well, thank you for watching tonight. I've played it. I've streamed it on the channel. I talked about it earlier in the stream, how the marketing was bad for this game. I mean, look at the cover. It's just a guy's face. And the text covers his face, so you can't tell who it is. It doesn't look like a football game. You can't really tell it's a Sega Sports 2K game because it's only in that bottom right corner. And yeah, you're 1 year removed from one of the worst football games in the era. So yeah, not good. Not good marketing. Vincent Doggins, Bobby Taylor, yeah. All right, so that's going to do it. Thank you, everyone, for watching. We'll see you next time.